13.1 half marathon together. She's a beast. Yeah, she was my pacer. And I don't think anybody in here can outrun her. But our son and our daughter, and we may have imprinted them in a way too, because my daughter loves the darkest of dark guys. Our son is pretty much like me. He goes, from one end of the spectrum to the other. Although he's married now, and he's married to a chocolate sister, and she's absolutely beautiful. So the imprinting goes on generation after generation after generation, and I'm sure some of that has happened within your own families and amongst your own friends. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Ted, and then we'll just move on from there.
First of all, I'd like to say we're glad to be here. It's our third time being able to speak to the young. We call y'all young folk because we passed that age, and I love telling my wife's age because black does not crack. I put a post out there maybe a month ago. Black don't crack, and it had a lot of little hashtags that got a lot of. A lot of hits. She looks good for 56 years old. Oh, y'all can clap. Especially the red guys. I said, I heard y'all when I was now I'm looking at it. Yeah, all the red dudes stand up. Let's see. Come on. If you red, stand up. No, come on. If you red, stand up. If you red, stand up.
Yeah.
If you red, stand up. Call them out. Call them out. Call them out.
There's a difference between. Is there a difference between being red and turning red? Because everybody.
That's a good question. I think about that, but you ain't red.
Because I'm red.
You got a red tie.
I'm playing with your
I'm a dark red.
Keep burdens it. So we like to have fun though. I just wanted to get a good look at all. She does like red guys, but I don't. Oddly enough, I don't consider myself red. I don't. I consider myself pecan. Yeah, I'm from Alabama, so I say pecan.
Instead of
Y'all
pecan.
say pecan.
How many of you consider Ted
Red.
Everybody who think I'm red, raise your hand. If
turn
you
the
think
light
I'm
on or off?
yeah. See if you have to turn the light on, yeah, I'm not. Okay, no. If I raise a hand, red. If I'm red. See? Not red, raise your hand. Not red. Boom. Black. There you have it. There you have it. So why are you talking about color? Well, my wife, my lovely dark wife, and let me tell you this. First time I saw her, I was a senior in college, I was a freshman. She had not braids, but plaits in her hair. Trust me. I look dark. She had this sassy walk, and how we met. That's the first time I saw her, I didn't say anything. Being a senior, I ain't gonna just be hollering at no freshman. They ain't trying to, what do you see? You ain't gonna holler at nobody underclass like that. But the spring semester of my senior year, freshman year, my buddy and I from ATL, I was living in Atlanta at that time, we were walking across campus, and we were talking about the good time that we had over the break. So I call her Dark Angel. Dark Angel just walks by casually, and I guess she overheard part of our conversation and said very seductively, sultry, flirtatiously. Now remember, I'm this freshman, I'm this senior, she's a freshman. So I really ain't supposed to be paying no attention to her like that. Oh, sounds like the time I had. What? I told my boy, hold up. And we've literally been together ever since, 37 years. Been married for 35, been together for 38, for 37. And love gets better when you want to make it better. The easiest thing, she had a moment. Okay, have a moment. Have a moment. You want to write that down? That's going to be in the test. Love Love is better when what? In the play.
You make it better.
So in the 35 years that we've been married, we've gone through a lot. Love is in the marriage is a roller coaster. Just stay on the ride. You ever seen anybody jump off a roller coaster got rough? No, you stay on the ride. So stay on for the ride and it gets better. But in my family, my mother is 2 or 3 shades past midnight. And my father is biracial. My father is a product, is the child of his mother being raped by the white landlord in Thomasville, Alabama. Back in that day, in 1934, the landlord would just roll up on your property, you're living, you share property. Go tell Bertha to come out here. He said to her husband, my grandfather, Bertha, come out. She's going with me. She comes back, do what you gotta do, you come back. You couldn't do a thing about it. Not one thing. So, over the course of society's privilege, I understand y'all been talking about privilege, that was a privilege that was widely asserted. When they say take America back again, those are code words for we want to go back to where our privilege was supreme. That's code word for that. Don't be fooled, don't get it twisted, don't mitigate it, don't try to rationalize it, because you cannot make sense out of the irrational. Who would have thought that some xenophobic, misogynist, homophobic, racist, narcissistic individual could Donald Trump his way to where he is right now? Imagine, if you will, if Barack Obama would have said any of that. A privilege asserted to the other class. You've probably seen on the internet where Donald Trump's wife, I don't even know her name, Melania, whatever, is scantily dressed in all different type of poses, lingerie, but yet classy, elegant Michelle Obama gets pilloried, gets all kind of derisive marks because of her color. They call her gorilla, that she's not appropriate. They talk about Beyonce should not be her kid's model. But if she were to have dressed like, what is her name?
Melania.
I didn't want to call her name. Her versus Michelle Obama, Robinson Obama? Robinson? I'm claiming that, right? I'm claiming that. But it's a privilege that's been asserted. So when I express my affinity for my chocolate sisters, it is not to the detriment that I don't appreciate the loveliness and the beauties of my vanilla sisters. I have an appreciation, I just have a preference. One does not have to diminish the other.
That's right.
It does not. So you prefer white or black? Well, I like them all, but my preference, like you have a favorite food, but you don't just eat that one food. Y'all like macaroni and cheese. Yeah, y'all probably don't get that around here. Cheese. Yeah, we're gonna invite y'all for dinner one day.
They gonna hold you to that.
We will. We'll do it. We can feed all y'all. Without a drop of a hat. Wouldn't it be no thing? Oh, she want a date. Sure, give me a second. Okay, we're gonna fix it. When is graduation?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We'll do it 3 weeks after graduation.
That's fine, yeah. I'll keep on there.
But my point is, my wife can cook. She's an author. She is a consummate professional with an MBA. In fact, she's a wealth consultant with Aberdown, one of the premier wealth management firms in the nation. It's an affiliate of Wells Fargo. She does things not for accolades. She just does it because she loves us. Right now, she's talking with Chancellor Robinson, the dean of the school, the School of Business, just on her own initiative, unprompted. She didn't ask permission, nor has she apologized, nor will she, for creating a management graduation to employment track with her firm for Winston-Salem State graduates. She had her first meeting last week. It's about to be big. We do it because we like us. But people will have you believe that you are lesser than Judge Scalia. God do not rest his soul. Do not rest in peace. Judge Scalia, former Supreme Court justice, said from the bench in a recent affirmative action case, maybe a month before he died, and I remember, this is the first time you're hearing this, I even told my wife, I pronounced a curse on it. You know, sometimes we say, you know, God damn you. I said, damn you. For saying what he said. Black kids should be relegated to going to HBCUs because if they were to go to the premier Ivy League type schools,
We can't keep
they would
up.
be in a too fast a track for their comfort. So they're more comfortable going, let them go to their own school. He was saying that in support of striking down the affirmative laws for University of Michigan. And I said, damn you. 30 days later, he was dead. I ain't gonna claim that, ain't Jesus, but karma will bite you in the behind. Karma has sharp teeth. When you condemn, you have imperialistic superlative powers at the judiciary, and you pronounce that type of sweeping indictment on an entire demographic of people of color. People like you and me, that you're not smart enough. Our daughter, it's a horrible, damnable, profane thing to say. And there's no nice way to condemn his remarks. So his profane judiciary indictment deserved a reciprocal. See, I can cuss and I can. We go wherever you want to go. We can go.
Yeah. Speak all languages.
While we're on that, can you speak on Nancy Reagan as well?
She dead.
I understand it, but
Very dead.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
I know I rubbed your leg.
Why do I say that? Why am I so hard on Nancy?
Because
she and her husband,
the war on drugs.
Do you know why there were gun laws implemented?
Yeah.
Gun laws were implemented when Reagan was the governor of California. The Black Panthers rose up out of their communities to protect their communities from overzealous policing, discriminate judiciary outcomes. They rose up in adherence and compliance to the Second Amendment, which says the citizens have a right to bear arms against a tyrannical government. So when the black folk of Oakland and LA and Compton, they rose up in self-defense of their neighborhood, they got the guns that the same white folk were getting. All of a sudden it's a problem. So Reagan enacted the first, as governor of California, enacted the very first gun control laws just to keep guns out of the hands of the Black Panthers. You holler at me, David? Y'all hear that? She said,
You talk all day.
She said, shh, shh, shh. That was for me, Red Brother. That was for me. Ascended to the presidency as a complete failure as a government. How did he get into the presidency? He got into the presidency. I'm talking about Nancy Reagan because she was there affirming him in his discriminate governance every step of the way. So get to the White House, completely utilizing the Southern strategy. The Southern strategy is you pit the poor whites
Against the blacks,
forming an alliance with the neo-Republicans, not the Republicans of Lincoln, not the Republicans of Martin Luther King, but with the neo-Republicans whose sole goal was to suppress, and that's coming back around, suppressing your vote, suppressing your access. I remember Fleming Ellerman approached his wife was a professor, approached the Board of Elections to have Winston-Salem State as an early voting site. They rejected it. You know why? Because too many of y'all voted for Barack Obama. Do you know why Michael Baisden is off the air and can't get a job now on the air? Because he singularly mobilized so many of his listeners to come out and vote. You know why Tom Jones is going off there? He's losing his job.
Same thing.
In addition to him selling out his share for money, 30 pieces of silver. Now we got your share. Now if they need your contract, we're not renewing you. Why? Because he's an advocate for us. He's advocate for justice, not just for black folk, but for all disenfranchised folk. So don't go to sleep on your opportunity to vote, to be active, to be proactive. So now they get into the White House, Nancy Reagan, and now she's using astrology, consulting with stars and tarot and card readers in order to advise her husband how to go about his daily duties. So that's the witch part. So yeah, what I got to say about her? Ding dong, the witch is dead. That's all I got to say about her. There's nothing saving grace about her, in my humble opinion. Any other question about Nancy Reagan? How are we talking about Nancy Reagan? I'm talking about dark chicks.
Because you talked about white privilege, which brought up politics,
Okay.
which brought up Trump.
So I don't want to talk about Donald Trump anymore because I don't want to give him my breath anymore. I refuse to mention his name on my timeline on Facebook. I know y'all use Instagram and all this other stuff now.
Snapchat.
Snapchat. Now I refuse to give him breath or give him life on that. My advocacy is when we get a call from Michelle or Chancellor Robinson or the dean of the school, we come running to you. We literally drop everything we did today to make sure they move it here. Left my clients, she left her wealthy clients, and speaking of privilege, you can't even be her client unless you have $50 million, not just in the bank, but your dad had to have 50, your granddaddy had to have 50, and his generational wealth. That's how they keep you out. Or you might make it big now, P. Diddy. You might make it big now, other people, Devin Franklin. But if your granddaddy wasn't rich, we still can't help you. You still won't be. If your daddy wasn't rich, so how do you mitigate that? How do you reconcile that? First of all, you can't reconcile it because it's nonsensical. So you coalesce your resources instead of pitting ourselves against each other. Fraternal or sorority battles, and it's more than just step shows that we battle. You know, I see things going back and forth from time to time. Why can't we coalesce, bring ourselves together? All times, for all reasons, in all seasons. Why can't we do that? And build our own stuff. One of the worst tragedies in America was not 9/11. It was when Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma was burned to the ground because the communities around them were jealous of their banks, their schools, their businesses. We didn't need the white folk for anything, so they come and burn your sugar honey iced tea down, and now they call you poor because now they won't give you credit. And if they give you credit, it's at a higher rate. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Toyota, and Mitsubishi were recently sued for usurious rates higher than what you qualified for. If I got a pristine credit and I'm a man of color, why am I paying a higher rate than Joe Blow from King, North Carolina, who has a worse credit score? There's no attributable fact other than your color scheme. So these are little micro social aggressions that you have to be aware of. And too often, I don't want to say my generation, your generation, but the current generation, because all of the doors have already been kicked in for you, you think the battle is over. But the battle's still waging. It's just different now. They don't wear, I'm old enough, I'm 59 years old. I have seen hooded sheets being from Alabama, integrating an all-white boarding academy in the most racist county in North Georgia back in 1971, Calhoun County, Georgia. You don't want to be there after midnight. Trust me when I tell you that. And the white kids that I graduated with, these kids now are adults with grown kids. They themselves are all Donald Trump supporters, Ted Cruz supporters, Rubio, that extreme right. They don't wear sheets anymore. They wear suits and ties, they wear badges and guns and mace and handcuffs. Black Lives Matter. And they have shamed a lot of people, particularly people of influence, from advocating for Black Lives Matter. And they have even gone as far to ridiculously, falsely equivalent, associate them. They're as bad as the Ku Klux Klan. Really? Black Lives Matter have never strung anybody on the news. I've seen this.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people beat in the streets. I lived in Alabama when they was sicking dogs on black folk and water hosing them down in the street.
Mm-hmm.
I was old enough to remember when they blew up those 4 little girls in Birmingham, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I was living 120 miles west in Atlanta. Blew them up. I remember that. I remember my dad coming home and saying the day that Martin Luther King was assassinated, my dad had moved us into the first black family to move in Ben Hill, King Charles Estates, previously unintegratable in Atlanta. If you were black, you couldn't move there. In fact, I know for a fact, kind of redundant, wasn't it?
No.
As a matter of fact, my daddy didn't take my mama to closing because she was too dark. I remember traveling, my father's a minister. I remember traveling from town to town, and my dad said, y'all stay in the car, I'm gonna go in and get us something to eat. I remember that. So the battles that were fought are being fought and waged differently now for you guys. But don't think that everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we shouldn't be dark versus light. My preference is my love preference. But my affinity is for all people of color.
Yes.
Further, my affinity is for all disenfranchised people. I remember being at that boarding school where I literally, on my second year there, my mom dropped me off at the back of the dorm. I'd been there the year before in the 10th grade, 11th grade, dropped me off at the back of the door, suitcase in hand, I'm walking in the dormitory, and I see in the corner, I stayed in the L of the hallway, there was a crowd at my door. Like, why? First of all, why is my dorm room door open? And why are people gathered in my door? Talking about privilege, what you can get away with. So I approached the suitcase in my hand. And literally, as I'm walking toward the door, the crowd parted like Moses in the Red Sea. I kid you not. Nobody said a word. My middle name is Odell. But white folk in the country, they can't say Odell. They say Odell. They do. So I go by Ted now. I am not old. I think that's raspberry.
You know your flavors.
I gotta go. I'm dead. I'll be back in 5 minutes. He said I'll be back in 5 minutes. Odell.
Call it like the Red Sea.
Yeah.
Okay, wrong reference.
Yeah, really.
True story. Kid you not. So, while like the Red Sea, I get into my room. My roommate, whose father was in the ministry with my dad, Ray Ellis, he was holed up in a corner, sitting on his bunk in the corner. Walked in the room, the biggest white boy I ever seen. He wasn't there a year before, but he was from Atlanta at the feeder school to this academy. Brian Martin was about, in the 10th grade, he was about 6'6", probably 250. How big is LeBron? I'm still holding my suitcase. Nobody said a word. I've been there 2 or 3 minutes now. Nobody said a word. First words were spoken was this big white boy. That country ass boy. Had ears like this. He didn't even have a neck. How you gonna be 6'6" and don't have a neck? I'm saying something. Any biology majors in here? I give you some extra credit. You figure that out. But look, the only words that were spoken, he said, "You old." Now, just the grammatical syntax was incorrect. I could have had a battle of wits with him just on that. But I knew it was more than that. You old. Thinking about that, man, text in there. No subject predicate. Nothing. Still holding my stuff right here. I said, and so far, 3 words are spoken in the span of 3 or 4 minutes. I'm there now. You odal, wrong syntax, no punctuation. I didn't know if it was an interrogative. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
The whole, you can't even diagram that. You odal. So I'll go along with it. And now that was the interrogative. More than that, it was provocative. It was like, I said and, but what I want was, what the fuck you gonna do? That's what that meant. You gotta unlearn. Institute of higher learning, HBCU and all that. Sometimes you have to extrapolate from articulation. You have to do that from time to time. He said, now he was contractually wrong again in the syntax. He said, I'ma whoop your ass. So far he said, you owe him. Now I don't know if I am going to has to be expanded to make 3 words.
Alma is 1 word.
I don't know if he put the apostrophe behind Amma, because at that time it was not contractually, it was not a common vernacular at that word.
It's AHMA.
You know what I'm saying? Amma. See, you gotta say Amma.
AHMA. Amma.
You know, but in my head, I'm saying like,
That's how you spell it.
that's what you gonna do? No, I ain't put it down. I dropped.
Okay.
Now, I could have done like this. Low impact.
Yeah, not as effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gave that white boy the ass whooping that his mama should have. I beat him down. Nobody said a word. He got up, he shook my hand, and he left out the room. No, that was a different fight.
Oh, Lord.
That was a different fight.
Another one.
The dean never said nothing. The principal didn't come down and check on him because they put him on to it.
Wow.
They were gonna break me. From that point on, I became. Can I say that?
You say
I
what?
became the shit on campus. I was. Everybody who became bullied wanted to be my friend. Everybody who was or thought about being a bully avoided me. Sometimes you have to stand up even if you're standing up alone. Society, in terms of ethics, when the person next to you may not have studied and they may want to look on your paper and you see them, you just do you. You be the best student that you can be. You be the best husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance that you can be. Be the best professor you can be. Be the best student that you can be. Irrespective of your preference for things in life. Don't forget that we all in this together. You know, as much as I love my wife, I will look out for Michelle the same way. I will look out for any of my younger brothers and sisters the same way. And you have to be committed to doing that to each other. Because if you think things are going to get better, let me tell you that they are not. So do Black Lives Matter? Yes, they do. Should you be afraid to pronounce that and to live that?
No.
Will the heavens fall around you sometimes? Yes, they will. But still be committed to doing the right thing. Because in the end, all you got is you. All we have is each other. It really is. I love last night my wife had her first official book signing. I'm segueing to letting her speak. Not letting her speak. You're done? She just like hearing me talk.
Yes.
I think I was raspberry.
Seriously, when I first started dating Ted, he was a jock on campus, quarterback on the football team, and he was tearing up the basketball court and stuff.
Point guard.
When I first met him and we started having conversations, I was so turned on by his intellect. He was something to my mind. before he got to my body.
That's how you get them.
Dumb down. Dumb down. And I remember calling my grandmother. And I thought I was pretty smart. And
She
I
was.
called my grandmother. And I told her about this man that I met. I said, Grandma, he's smarter than me. I had never said that before about any man that I had met. If you want to bring yourself up, talk to a sister with high intelligence. Pull your pants up. And bring your vocabulary up. Now, conversely, I was talking to this ministerial student. And this guy,
At school, when we were in
at
college.
school, this was right before I started talking to Ted. And I knew he was full of wind and was trying to impress me. Ted wasn't trying to impress me. When I say he is a sesquipedalian, those words roll off naturally.
What that mean, baby? What that mean?
He's given to multisyllabic syllable words, multisyllabic words. But it's natural to him. But this theology student was trying to impress me. And on our first date, he exhausted all of his vocabulary. And it was hilarious. And this guy turned out to be a serial womanizer.
But a minister, nonetheless.
Yeah. And he was trying to get to my body before he could reach my brain. Opposite. Exact reverse. And he lost out on the game. But when I met this man right here, this red brother who was swole and was so nice to everybody. So nice to everybody. Always looking out for the underdog. And so highly intellectual and giving, very generous. I was smitten, and I'm not easily impressed because I come from an extremely poor background. People don't impress me at all, but that was the first time I had ever been impressed with a man. And let me tell you, 37 years later, the little snippet that you see here, it is even more powerful when we're by ourselves. We laugh all the time. We talk about everything. We talk about our desires. We talk about the things that we like. And that keeps us safe. It keeps us safe because he knows what I like and I know what he likes. And it keeps us safe. But he still turns me on intellectually. I mean, he turns me to hell on. And I think that's what you want. You don't want to be in the middle of a courtship or in the middle of a marriage. Everything is